On this week's episode of CEO Yourself, we deep dive what it means to reach the milestone that is episode 20, including exploring some of the CEO beliefs that we have developed in the show to date and answering some of the questions you submitted on Instagram. Keep listening as we have an announcement. Welcome to CEO Yourself episode 20. This is my third solo episode and I'm still nervous, but not as nervous as I have been in the past. So I hope that you take this as your learning that jumping into the fear and doing it anyway is the first step towards your dreams. I am so grateful to each and every one of you and the CEO community that we have around the world. You guys have tuned in on Monday mornings and joined us in this passionate pursuit of learning and growing together. I cannot begin to tell you how much we've learnt and how much we've grown through this process of jumping into the unknown. And you've all been so supportive. This little community that we've grown is honestly incredible. And to share the stories of women from all different backgrounds and interviewed mothers, we've interviewed entrepreneurs, editors, leaders, businesswomen and friends. And we've shared raw, honest and vulnerable stories. And that's what I love about the podcast format is that you can deep dive into the truth behind the veil that is social media and the world we live in. And we've shared highs and lows, love and loss, careers and motherhood. And it's been such a beautiful journey, and it's definitely been the most joyful career pursuit of my life. So I am so grateful, as I said. I wanted to touch on today what we've been doing behind the scenes. We have grown and I have two team members. I have Amelia, who is just amazing. She's smiling at me from behind the camera, who, again, to watch her grow and develop in her style has been one of the greatest joys of this experience. She has leveled up constantly and works around the clock and is such a fine example of a young woman. And Jamie, who has helped us and is slowly handing over the reins on the production of the podcast. We are so grateful to you. Thank you for everything that you do and for teaching us, because we genuinely had no idea what we were doing when we started. We are still very much learning. And I think that's what's cool is you guys are seeing us level up along the way. Hopefully the guests will continue to inspire you and the questions will continue to inspire you. Obviously, we've leveled up in terms of this beautiful new studio that I'm so grateful for, and I hope you love it. We have another set coming soon. You will have seen our product line, which is slowly developing, and you've been so supportive and encouraging with. We have our newsletter, and our little Instagram community is now on almost 5,000 followers. So thank you for joining us there and for following each week as we deep dive the CEO superpower throughout the week. Most importantly, we've connected as a community, and I've heard from so many of you and we've shared stories offline. I can't wait to create more meaningful in-person opportunities for us. And on that note, I am thrilled to share with you today for the very first time, and for you first, that we are set to host our first community event, our inaugural CEO Yourself webinar. So if you inbox us, I am going to share with you the link and a special discount code for the first 50 of you. So jump on, you can at Why Not CEO Yourself, inbox us and express your interest in attending. I am incredibly excited to have been developing this project and to share with you the CEO Yourself philosophy for the first time, which I know will help you guys to level up and become the CEO of your lives wherever you're at. On a personal front, this chapter for me has been really moving, and it's been a really sensitive time in my life because I feel as if I'm trying to evolve into a better version of myself along with you. And as a self-confessed workaholic, this chapter has been about finding boundaries and learning to say no, and recovering from burnout and recovering from many years of difficulty and undue stress in my career that I placed on myself and that I had placed on me. And this chapter has been about finding balance, whatever that may look like. And it's a constant and evolving journey. And I know I've spoken about that a lot, but it's about pursuing my mission and purpose, finding my why, and trying to create something truly meaningful that will make my kids proud. Because interestingly, I spent, I guess, the first 30 years of my life trying to make my parents proud, and now I hope to make my children proud. So as we've touched on so many episodes, it's about spending time away from my kids in a meaningful way. If I have to be away from them, I want to produce something meaningful, and I hope that this has been meaningful to you. So many of you have reached out to me, and I appreciate you so much, because those moments do encourage us to keep going. So what is it meant to find balance? I think that it's kind of an elusive word, and I think we're all searching for it, and I don't know if it's possible, but I feel closer to it, I have to say. And I feel as if it's worth touching on how I've come closer to finding balance. And I jotted down a few points which I feel to share, but it's definitely been about being so strict with my time, truly acting as if I am a big bad CEO boss, and being strict with when I take meetings and who I take meetings with, and at times learning to say no. And it's a difficult word to use, but I encourage you to find somewhere this week to say no and to put yourself first. I think it's also about living in alignment with my mission and my purpose, and I do feel that this is my calling, and that is about doing meaningful work. And that is something that we feel so honoured to do as a team every week. And it doesn't feel like work. It does feel joyful, as I said. So I hope that you are listening to these episodes and listening to yourself and your body and getting closer to where you want to be and who you want to be, wherever it is that you are in your life. We've touched on some incredible CEO superpowers throughout the first 20 episodes, from confidence to resilience to storytelling. These women have come on and been so vulnerable and open and honest with their experiences. And one of the most profound messages that I continue to hear is how hard they've worked and how it hasn't been so shiny and glossy behind the scenes, and how they've heard no's and they've found their yeses. But I wanted to touch on some of my favourite CEO beliefs that have kind of developed throughout the season and in my experience learning from these incredible women. One of which I'm mildly obsessed with, but is boundaries. And it took me far too long to find my boundaries, but I want to encourage you, wherever you are, to sit down and take the time to think about, where do you want to spend your time and how do you want to spend it, and who are the friends that you want to invest in, and what are the career or passion pursuits that you feel are worthy of your time, and then how are you going to implement boundaries to be happy, because no one else knows where your boundary lies. And people don't even intentionally cross your boundaries, but unless you identify them and verbalize them and are clear with them, it's incredibly difficult to locate them. It's a constant pursuit of mine, but constantly assessing what feels right and what doesn't, and getting more aware of your body speaking to you about those boundaries. I really genuinely feel it leads to a happier, healthier Hermione, and I hope it leads to a happier and healthier you. I've just touched on mission and purpose. I think this can change throughout your life, and you can have different chapters and different missions and different purposes. But I often you can hear in the voice of our guests when they're living in true alignment with their mission and their purpose. And that often then comes with, it doesn't feel like work. You know, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I do really sense that with the women who come on and are living in alignment. And they often feel very full of energy, which is when I look back in the patches of my life where I haven't been happy or living in alignment in my career. Those have definitely been times when I have struggled. You know, in the last few years I've been exploring. I had what I thought was long COVID, and was constantly seeing specialists and having blood tests and feeling utterly exhausted when I woke up in the morning. But what's interesting is now that I'm pursuing this career, even though I have 2 little kids, I feel so energized. And I woke up this morning at 5:30 to get to the studio for a day of recordings, and I smiled almost the whole way here and felt so full of energy. So it's very compelling, and I think very important to listen to your body speaking and go back to your mission and your purpose. Habit stacking is something that I have been exploring lately, and again, something that I think the systems and procedures, we've touched a lot on organization even throughout our episodes, they set you up for success. So habit stacking is something that I've been working on recently. For example, I schedule calls when I commute. We're currently living in the countryside and the commute's about an hour and a half. And I set up calls and I use that time effectively. I read in the bath at night. I try to play music or walk, get fresh air, or even dance when I'm with Xanthi. And I feel as if habit stacking allows you to achieve a lot more in the day. We're all very busy. We all have so much on. But finding ways to incorporate these little habits in a fun way can allow you to get more done. Find Your Why. This is an incredible book that we've just explored on a recent episode. And I think finding your why, whether it's personally, professionally, short-term, long-term, it will lead you in the direction of becoming the CEO of your life. So we will link Simon's book below in the show notes. There's much more to come in this whole CEO Yourself philosophy arena. But what I wanted to do next was I actually went to Instagram and I asked some of you, what do you want to hear? So I'm going to open it up and look at some questions. The first I wanted to answer, I've just opened these, to be honest. I really haven't prepared these in advance, so they're going to be very raw and honest responses as usual. Question 1 is advice you'd give your 20-year-old self. I would have to say I would tell 20-year-old Hermione not to be so hard on myself, and I would tell her that it's all going to work out in the end beautifully, or maybe even better than I expected. And I would say to her, perhaps to do less career-wise, to focus on one thing at a time and do it really well. I think at times I had too many kind of balls in the air. How do you balance starting a venture with becoming a mum? This is probably one of the core CEO Yourself philosophies, which is you are the CEO of your life and only you know what that means to become the CEO of your life. So only you can answer what feels right for you in becoming a mum. For some of my friends, it meant taking a year off and then going back full time. For others, it meant going back quite quickly because they had their own businesses perhaps. So others, it was 3 months, 6 months. Only you know what is right for you. And I don't think I necessarily took the right path, but then that's a learning and hopefully I'll do it better next time. I think it's a unique journey to you and what feels right for you. I can only hope that I find the right balance, that my children feel loved and cared for and that I feel fulfilled. And I think that that's a constantly evolving pursuit and it will change as I have more kids, I'm sure, because that's going to be crazy. Having more kids, wow. I love this question. How do you get yourself out of a rut, feel unmotivated at the moment? I would say there are little things that you can do. So a weird one for me is like if I don't get up and like have a shower and get properly ready for the day, I find I can fall into like a more lazy vibe throughout the day. Find what helps you to like bring that energy in the morning. So this is why like the breathing techniques, or I wish I could say I exercise every morning, but I definitely don't. But this is why I'm imagining people go out for a run or exercise in the morning. Doing those things that wake you up and kind of breathe vitality into you really help you move through that rut. The other thing I would say is just get something done on the to-do list. Write out a to-do list. Start with something easy. You don't even have to start with the hard thing, but just start ticking off little things, and that momentum will help you shift into a productive mindset. The other thing I would say is take a break. if you're feeling low and in a rut and lacking energy, go and walk around the block and take lots of big, big, big deep breaths, like really inhale and exhale, and literally breathe oxygen into you and see if that shifts. Or find something on David Goggins online. He is so inspiring with his gains chat. Any productivity list management hacks? I have always been quite list obsessed. I use Notion, and I use that with Amelia in my team, and it's amazing because you can kind of tick things off that you're working on and leave notes and add to each other's and so on. It feels amazing to delete things off. For Amelia, I sometimes clear hers off because it's so satisfying once she's ticked something off. I think lists for me really help me structure, but I don't just write a list. I write the list in order of when I'm going to do it. And I also write the days. So I'll write literally like Monday. I'll write reminders in there of things I need to do. If it's like Monday morning, I need to bring something to the office, I'll write that in. If I have the plumber coming, I'll put that in. I literally map out the days so that it's as clear as day. Find the productivity hacks that work for you. I spoke to someone uber successful the other day and she said, I just have a rolling notes, and then she deletes things off as she goes. You will find what works for you. But for me, Notion is incredible. I also love using Excel. I keep everything in my Google Drive. I love folders. I clear my inbox every day in my email and on my WhatsApp. I don't like things lingering until the next day. And if I fall into a rut of not replying to them, it's disastrous for me. I like to have everything ticked off in order to move on to the next task. I also find travel is really good for that because I know if I'm going away that I need to get things done before I go. So for example, last night I worked quite late because there was all this personal admin I had to do, changing my name after marriage, and I just knew if I didn't get it done, it wouldn't get done again for another week and another week. So kind of setting yourself little timelines, I feel helps you keep on top of the work you need to do. This question is, would love to hear a typical workday routine and any tips for feeling stuck career-wise. Workday routine, most days are quite different, but we are again trying to stack. So for example, we will record on 2 days in the week and try to record 2 to 3 episodes rather than recording 3 episodes over 3 days. We find it means we're a lot more efficient. We're in the podcast recording headspace. Then on another day, I might do 3 coaching clients with breaks in between, but I'll do 1 at 9, 1 at 12, 1 at 3. I might then do, for example, tomorrow I have a client I'm consulting to and we have a 2-hour meeting at 7 a.m. And then in the afternoon, I'll probably be catching up on all my admin for the week and editing an episode. So I think stacking your days really helps to increase productivity. Feeling stuck in a rut career-wise, even pursuing something for your own self outside of work. I don't even necessarily feel you need to make a massive shift if you're feeling in a rut, but I found sometimes, like for example, implementing spin with a friend once a week and trying to hit a new target can help you to feel better at work. I'm a massive believer that you can't be happy at home if you're not happy at work and vice versa. So trying to find the areas in your life that are out of balance and that need a little bit of love, I do feel supports being stuck in a rut. But perhaps it's about going back to your mission and your purpose and thinking about what's feeling right about your career and what's not, and what you can do to feel and be a better version of yourself and to become the CEO of your life. I'm so truly and sincerely grateful to each and every one of you. You have no idea what your words of encouragement have meant to me. For every like, for every share, for every comment, for every download, we hear you and we see you and we appreciate you. This is a passion project and we have been received so warmly and we have the most supportive, encouraging and inspiring community. Thank you. And I really hope you can help me to carry on this journey. Hitting episode 20 is a huge milestone that we are celebrating at CEO Yourself, because most podcasts don't make it to episode 20. And I was told by countless producers at the beginning of this journey that if you could make it to 20, that you could make it. So We are so thrilled to be here. We have made so many mistakes and we've stumbled on so many hurdles, and we are learning as we go. But it has been truly one of the most meaningful and important journeys of my life. So thank you. We would deeply appreciate you downloading, following, subscribing to our channel so that we can keep doing this. Your likes and downloads matter and they help us, and we would so appreciate it if you could share CEO Yourself with a friend who you think it could help, whether she's a mother or a businesswoman or a woman who is seeking inspiration and advice from these incredible women who give out their time so generously to us. We hope that you can continue to grow into the CEO of your life with us and know that you are part of our team, and we are so grateful. So thank you for being here with us, and we have so much to come. I am so excited about everything that we have coming up, all the guests we have. I am thrilled to share with you over the coming weeks and months and hopefully years. And as I said, inbox us. The first 50 will be getting early access and a discount code to our very, very first CEO Yourself webinar, with many more live and in-person events to come. So thank you guys. I will see you soon. It would mean the world to me if you would share today's episode with someone you feel would enjoy it. And don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment.